So you tap a button and something happens. That's how the world works, right? Well, not exactly. The world is actually filled with buttons that are only there to seem like they do something, while in fact being useless. And not only buttons, there are all kinds of things that are there for no apparent reason. Number 1. Pedestrian crossing buttons. If you live in a big city, you've probably seen these buttons placed right beneath a huge sign that says, "Press the button and wait for a green light," or something like that. I don't know about you, but I always diligently press it, although it doesn't always work as it should. Or does it work at all? The thing is, transport authorities sometimes switch off the functionality of these traffic buttons on purpose. In New York, for example, there are 1,000 of them, but currently only 100 actually work when you press them. All the rest are no more than a decoration. They're often called placebo buttons because all they do is create an illusion of control. You press a button and you expect that something will happen, well, not knowing that the process is automatic. Such buttons have an important psychological effect. Doing something feels better than not doing anything. When you press the button at a crossing, you feel more assured that the light will eventually switch to green. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe it'll keep being red forever. Well, some of these buttons do work, and no one will tell you exactly which ones don't. So, not to feel stupid just standing there and waiting, better to press the button anyway. Why they turned them off in the first place, though? Because the traffic light system turned out to be much more complex, especially in big cities. If you drive, you could notice that sometimes you get in a green wave, where every traffic light lets you go ahead. It happens when you adhere to the speed limit and there are no obstacles on your way, like busy, unregulated crossings. But if there's a traffic light with a working crossing button, it can turn red at any moment, and your green wave will be over. So, not to disrupt the work of the whole network, many of the traffic control switches were turned into placebo buttons. Number 2. Elevator door close buttons. If you live on, say, the 15th floor, and you're in a hurry to get home because your bladder is about to burst, for example, you'll probably feel fine running up the stairs. But if you decide to wait for the elevator instead, you'll smash that door close button until the doors finally close, which they will do awfully slowly. Sorry to disappoint, not all close buttons are equally effective. In the US, many of these buttons don't work at all. The elevator doors will stay open for no less than the time appointed to them, no matter how much or how long you mash that button. The roots of this lie in the legislation. In fact, the 1990 Americans with Disabilities Act stated that elevator doors should remain open long enough for anyone with any movement impairment, be it a wheelchair or crutches, to get inside without trouble. So unless you're an emergency service worker or just happen to know the override code, you won't be able to make the doors close faster. Maybe it's best to take those stairs after all. If you live outside of the US, though, your chances of getting a working close button are much higher. In many countries, there are no such strict regulations, so you can easily find an elevator where, if you press the door close button, the doors will actually shut immediately. As an added bonus, if you press the door open button right after that, they'll stop midway and open again. Ah, the wonders of technology. Number 3. Thermostat control in hotels and offices. Most white-collars will agree with me. Having a thermostat in the office is a necessity, not a luxury. And sometimes there are veritable battles going on between those who like to keep it cool and those who would rather sweat than shiver. Which one are you, by the way? Share down in the comments. But the truth is much more sly, I think is the word. You see, most office buildings have a central heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, HVAC for short. And the thing about this central system is that you can't actually affect it from anywhere outside the control center. In fact, there are 2 general types of office thermostats, one that is total placebo and one that is only partially so. The total placebo type speaks for itself. Whatever it shows on that little digital screen is a lie. You can press the buttons all you like, and the numbers will change, but the temperature will remain the same. The partial placebo thermostat has a little bit of sway. It can change a couple of degrees in both directions, but no more than that. So, if you press the button to decrease the temperature from 72 degrees and it goes all the way down to 60, rest assured that in reality, it stops at somewhere about 70 degrees. You will hear the vents whir, though, and the machinery will seem to come to motion. That and a slight drop in temperature create the feeling that you're really in control. The placebo effect is that you believe something's changed and your body reacts accordingly. Same goes for many hotels, too. If your room is equipped with a thermostat, you can be sure it only creates a semblance of activity, while keeping the room temperature the same whatever you do. 4. Progress bars. Whenever you download a file from the internet or install a new app on your device, you see a bar that informs you of how much time you have left to wait. Ever seen it stuck at 99% for like forever, though? Yeah, it's exactly what it seems. The progress bar is always wildly inaccurate. One of its creators, Brad A. Myers, said that the purpose of the bar was never to show the actual progress. Its main aim was, and still is, to soothe the users. And they don't seem to mind at all. According to the tests Myers conducted with his team, users didn't care that the progress bar was inaccurate. They just preferred having something to show that progress was really made. When nothing happened on the screen, they got the feeling that something went wrong or their download wasn't working at all. Honestly, I'd start mashing keys myself if I just saw a blank screen too. 5. Calorie counters on treadmills. What a pleasant feeling it is to run on a treadmill and watch calories melt away in real time. Only this melting may not be exactly what you expect. When you run, you burn calories for sure, but the precise amount depends on various factors, such as your weight, overall fitness, and body fat percentage. What you see on the screen is another placebo, I'm afraid. In this case, it's not entirely useless, though. The calorie count shows you the average of what you could get if you were of, well, average build. This counter is, once again, only there to assure you that you're doing everything right. The downside of this is that even if you're not doing it right, the treadmill won't let you know. That's why depending solely on the machinery is not recommended. Hire a personal coach for best results. 6. Graceful failures. Now, this isn't so much about the illusion of your control as it is about you being calm. Does it make you mad when you see an error message on the screen of your PC or other device? Me? It sure does. Well, many companies have found a way out of this inconvenience. For example, if you turn on some app that has personalized recommendations and they fail for some reason, you won't even know about it. Instead, you'll see a screen with popular choices which are likely to appeal to you as well. And it all started in the 1960s, when the One ESS phone system was invented in the US. When a call attempt failed, the system didn't tell the caller about it, but simply switched to another recipient instead. So when somebody took the phone on the other end of the line, you apologize for dialing a wrong number and tried again. This way, you didn't feel the frustration of having a failed call. So, now you know. Hey, if you learned something new today, then give the video a like and share it with a friend. And here are some other videos I think you'll enjoy. Just click to the left or right. And remember, stay on the bright side of life.